What's going on, everybody? This is how I made $939 trading the NASDAQ today. All right, I did not record a live trading session today, but what I am going to do is recap price and where I took my entry, how I took my entry, why I took my entry, and where I took my profits. Today was a very, very, very beautiful day, but required a lot of patience. So this is one of those days where you can see that patience pays, and there's a famous quote that all traders know. It's that we get paid to be patient. So let's dive into price, see why I took my trade, and why I also faded some things. Let's get into price. Bang. All right. So starting on the 4-hour time frame, I'm gonna go. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go all the way through price, really quick for YouTube. So 9:30. What did we do? Well, this 4 hour we're currently trading in. Was not really too worried about that because what did we use to hit that 4 hour? Well, we use 9:30 CPI news. So you can see this massive, super volatile candle right here, this 200-point candle right here. If you full ported CPI news today, you would have banged. I did not full port CPI news today. I did actually think about it. I was actually going to do it, but my trade rate was giving me some issues, so I ended up just not being able to full port it, but it would have worked. Whatever. But what did we do? Price trades higher, creates that nice big wick. You can see ES the exact same thing. Super volatile, super volatile. Then what do we do leading into, New York session? Well, I was looking at the 15 and 30-minute time frame. We had this nice 15-minute gap here. We had a 15-minute below, and what was this 15-minute below? It was also 8:30 wick low. So 8:30 data low. So that's a very, very, very strong point of price to hit. Okay, so I really wanted to see that point of price get taken out, hit that second 15-minute gap to get my entry. I was focusing on longs all morning, super clear bias to be honest, and a fresh 30-minute gap was opening. Okay, so off open, what did we do? Well, we manipulated lower, right? And I was looking for a entry on the 4-minute time frame. There's this big 4-minute gap here. ES manipulated as well. I was looking for an entry, but it had to be like perfect. If it wasn't a perfect entry, I wasn't going to take it. And this is why. We had this 8:30 low right here, right? Like I said previously, I wanted to see this 8:30 low get hit. So I was looking for price to sweep this low and then get a trade higher. So that's no longer at my stop loss at this unmitigated 15-minute gap. Price ends up not doing that. We end up going higher actually. And we can see that we don't inverse this 4-minute. This is very, very, very well of kind of like showing how I trade and how I'm a condition-based trader. I use this 4-minute as a condition. Are we going to respect or are we going to disrespect? What did we do? We respected. That is showing us we're not ready to go higher. So what does price end up doing after we clearly see we're not going to respect? Well, I was looking for maybe a sweep. We generated these lows to hit this and then get a trade higher. This is where I was looking for my entry. But what was ES doing? ES was not in a place to distribute. So let me go to the 1-minute time frame and show you where ES was. ES was up here. As you can see, the exact candle. Boom. ES wasn't in a place to distribute. And what I mean by that is ES wasn't in a high time frame gap or sweeping any significant liquidity. It was just in a range. So I needed to see ES get into a place to distribute before I take my entry, which you can then see ES comes lower, generates all these highs, and we manipulate lower. You can see this very, very clean, good, volatile candle manipulate lower. And what do we hit with ES? Well, we take out, let me get to it. Boom, boom. Okay. We take out a 30-minute internal low. So liquidity resting in a high time frame key level. Then we also hit a fresh 15-minute gap as well, taking out what? That CPI data low. So now that CPI data lows are no longer at my stop loss, this gives me a lot of conviction that we're ready to go higher. What does NQ do? Also take that out. And what does NQ do as well? Generate structure. What do? We stall out. We start to accumulate. Then we have a manipulation leg. This ends up being a 2-minute inverse right here. And this is where I took my entry. I went in with 6 contracts. This is an eval account, so I'm a little bit more heavy risk. Want to just, pass the account, but taking AA plus setups. So now you can see ES hit a place to distribute. ES gets its inversion as well. We have all this good structure. It's a buy model, and NQ is just following it. My full TP, or I should say full draw, are these highs and all this accumulation zone highs. But I want to just take my 1-to-1 as I am risking more. There's no really reason for me to try and extend my TP more. What did we also create? We created this 5-minute bearish gap. Now, something that a lot of people went break even on, my buddy went break even on, and this is a reason why I went break even a lot in the past 2 weeks, and what I've kind of learned myself to hold through. This 5-minute gap is not sponsored, so this 5-minute gap really isn't that significant, because what is it attacking and what is it defending? Well, this 5-minute gap is defending these stacked highs leading up to a high time frame liquidity pool being that data high. As well, what is it attacking? Well, it's attacking a high resistant high in this 15-minute gap, in the 30-minute gap, with both pairs sweeping. So we have high resistant lows. That's why we have it as our stop loss, because it's high resistant. So did I really see this 5-minute have the power to come down and take out my stop loss? No. So that is why I held this trade. So with all that being said, you can see how this 2-minute hits that 5-minute. We chop around for a little bit, and then we do our full distribution higher. We take out the accumulation zone highs right there, and then I think we're still making our way higher. Yeah, we're still making our way higher. But that is how I hit my full TP. Let me make sure I'm in my trade of 8, so you guys can see my executions. Yep. So here you can see my executions. This blue is my entry, and then this red is my exit. So I got my 1-to-1 on this trade, which profited me $939. That is how I made $939 trading the NASDAQ today. Super A+ setup. Hope you guys like this video. If you want to see more content like this, drop a subscribe and drop a like on the video, and comment if you have any questions on anything I went over. Thank you guys for watching. Deuces.